I was gonna ask you, are you responsible for getting that Taylor song in the
I
trailer?
mean, you know.
You phone a friend? Shoot a text, maybe?
You know.
Why was this important?
I think it goes back to what we were just saying about how this story resonated with so many people. So there's a great responsibility. I'm Spider-Man. I'm Spider-Man. I'm Spider-Man.
The rings, the mixing of.
Hey, I don't dress like this in real life, but like I'm having to like do interviews and talk, so I'm gonna wear like a crazy pattern. Because this is a tiny movie, like it's big and flashy and summery, and we're like, it's a summer blockbuster, but really it's a very like kind of low budget movie.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. Back in 2014, before Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were as quote unquote wealthy and as powerful as they are today, they were a newly married couple, not even parents. Ryan wasn't Deadpool yet, and Blake most certainly was not Lily Bloom. And Ryan and Blake still had very high opinions of themselves. Two narcissists that met and fell in love over their love of money, Martha Stewart and Deadpool. Blake Lively was set to launch a website called Preserve, a place where she believed everyone wanted to go because it was what she wanted. When you read through interviews by Blake and Ryan, you start to see a pattern of they do things that they want because they think everyone wants what they do. And in a 2014 interview, a cover with Vogue, Blake Lively exposed a side of herself that at the time left people on the internet laughing at her, mocking her, and scratching their heads because what she admitted so blatantly seemed so obviously strange. Why would someone say these things? Why would they confess to these things? Why on earth would Blake Lively admit that she and her husband lie about everything? This was 11 years ago. She told us that they lied, that they were lying about everything, that everything was a lie. So why are we supposed to now believe them? Let me give you a few quips from this cover, which appeared in Vogue on July 17th, 2014, 10 years before It Ends With Us was released. This is a interview where the journalist is writing in first person, okay? So they write, when I compliment her, she describes the look as if Sling Blade and Pocahontas had a baby. She has a tendency toward deadpan humor, often delivered with a laconic stare that can make it difficult to figure out whether she's joking or not. And she said, when I say something funny, I don't laugh. So my friends are always like, ha ha, so people know. When I'm not with them, I always think this person doesn't know I'm funny. They just think I'm a jerk. This is a woman that believes that she's funny and that she's better than you, and that if you don't understand that she's funny, it's your fault, not hers. If someone has to tell someone that you're funny, you're probably not funny. There was another part. In the middle of her interview, she gets on the phone with an editor, and stops her interview to do work. It says, back in the car when she finally gets the editor on the phone, Lively, the 26-year-old who starred in Gossip Girl for 6 years, surprises me with the authority of her vision. She says, with the bow tie story, I think by shifting into the first person, he would be able to make it a lot more personal. That authentic sort of flawed voice that we've been trying to accomplish. I was a little bit liberal with my revisions, but the humor was already there, so I just went with it. She flips through the piles of manuscripts in her lap, turning to a different piece. I think the writer should just scrap it and start over, because this guy's work is beautiful. But what's the story? Why bags? Why leather? Why the European military influence? She pauses for a moment, and one thing, which shows up in every piece, the word thing. My dad was an English professor. There's always more eloquent and descriptive words. Gossip Girl was not a huge hit. It wasn't. There are cable shows that do better than Gossip Girl. In fact, on an average week, only 1 million people tuned in. And for a show on a network that's not cable, that's not great. But yet she's acting as though she's from Friends or some fantastically successful sitcom or drama when she wasn't. It was average, an average show with average success. And she spoke with such authority and such disrespect, even then. And it only got worse because the bigger she got, the bigger her ego got. In the same interview back in 2014, here's what she said. He's a part, talking about her husband, Ryan. He's a part of it because of everything we do in life, we do together. If I'm working on a movie, he helps me with my character. I do the same with him. Picking out a coffee table, what we're going to eat. He's beautiful. He's a beautiful writer. He's written a lot of stuff for us, and he's got a great barometer, and he knows me. So he will tell me if it's not as good as it can be. She said, he's going to be a great father and leader and patriarch. He's so meant to be all of those things. The fact that he lived so much before we got together, he's the exact realized person that he should be. And so I get to share my life with the person he's become, and we get to grow from there. She wanted her husband to be her patriarch, to be her leader. She wanted him to help pick out her clothes, to help her with her lines. The relationship sounds very codependent, very unhealthy. And codependency and unhealthiness and lack of boundaries and no space and the suffocation, that's all part of narcissistic relationships because they need each other. They need supply. But this is a woman who prides herself on being a feminist. And even in 2014, she wanted a patriarch. She wanted her husband to be her patriarch, which is the opposite of what she claims to want for herself today. Her beliefs are not rooted in actual feminism. Her beliefs are rooted in patriarchy. She doesn't even realize how ignorant she sounds, and the entitlement that she has is astounding. And so I can only imagine how frustrating it would be to be around her on a set where she believes she knows so much more and she knows nothing at all. But it's her belief that she is so supreme and so all-knowing that would probably make it hard for anyone to have a conversation with her. So when I say that it's not all Ryan, it's not. It is for sure Blake. She did another interview with Glamour, and this is where she admits that they lie about everything. So the journalist brought up that he had made a comment or tweeted about something related to his daughter, their daughter. And she laughed and she said, he may as well work for the Inquirer. When he says my daughter, he's never, ever talking about her. Everything is completely made up scenario. He'll run them by me sometimes just to make me laugh. But oh, I'm so in love with him when he writes that stuff. I mean, I'm in love with him most of the time, but especially with that. She's in love with him when he lies and tweets and he lies publicly because she thinks it's funny. This is the kind of stuff that you don't say out loud. And if you actually understood social cues, social etiquette, admitting that you enjoy lying and you're in love with your husband because he lies, it tells me that your barometer and your ethics are not that of a normal person, of an ethical person. She loves when her husband lies. She admits that he might as well work for the National Enquirer, that he, every single time he is speaking about one of his children or tells a story or says anything, he's lying. And she knows he's lying and she likes it. She admires that about him. In the same Glamour interview, she says that she and her husband enjoy hiding in acting and hiding as someone else. They admit that they wear masks and they pretend to be people that they're not. My husband and I are really shy people who express ourselves best when we are acting, when we're hiding as someone else. So the fact that very shy people have to share that shy person with the world and you are sometimes hurt by it, it's very weird emotionally. Anyway, champagne problems. I don't think she really understands what it means to be shy because she's not shy. There's absolutely nothing about her that is shy. A shy person wouldn't do what she does. But what she did there is admitted that she and her husband hide who they are and intentionally deceive people by wearing a mask and pretending they're someone that they're not. So if you are someone that admits that you lie, you admit that your husband lies, you admit that you wear a mask, you admit that you love your husband for lying, how are we supposed to believe that now you're telling the truth? Because everything you say can't be trusted. How do you trust anything that these two say ever? They just say whatever they think will get a laugh, will get shock value. They enjoy fooling people. They think they're better than everyone. But I'm an introvert, a very big introvert, and I don't live like them. I don't pretend to be someone I'm not. People that are shy don't have to pretend they're someone else. People who are trying to fake it and be something and pretend and con do this so they can deceive and steal. She's basically a con artist. He's a con artist. There are plenty of actors and actresses who are not like this, that are authentic human beings that can express themselves and be themselves and not get lost in the concept of being someone else and having to act every time they're on. If she says that everything that he puts out is a lie and she loves that, why do we believe anything in their lawsuit? How do you believe anything he says? We know he's not a marketing genius. We know that she didn't file a complaint with HR. We know that she didn't go to the union. We know that she is lying that he sexually harassed her. We know she's lying that he started a smear campaign. They have been telling the public for more than a decade who they are, and yet somehow Hollywood just ignores them because they supposedly think that Ryan's beautiful and they want to value the beauty of this couple, which I find them both incredibly average. I'm never someone that would ever insult people's looks, but neither one of them strike me as anyone other than just completely average. She's had a ton of plastic surgery. She's had her breasts done. She's had a couple nose jobs. She's had her eyelids done. She does her lips. And I'm not against plastic surgery, but naturally, beauty is not her. Without all of that, she would just be Blake Brown. Even her name is fake. Her name is not even Blake Lively. She legally changed her name to Lively before she turned 18. It's a stage name. She was born Blake Brown. But I guess Blake Brown is too boring, not exciting enough. Yes, Blake is the problem. Yes, she's a liar. Yes, he's a liar. And yes, they have a very codependent relationship. I'm going to go back to that one part of this article when she says that she likes to have her husband pick out what she eats. She doesn't make a single decision without consulting him. And she says this in a way where it sounds like it's romantic. This is not romantic. You should be able to pick out what you're going to eat without talking to your husband. You should be able to get dressed without consulting with your husband. You don't need to check with your husband for everything. She's being controlled by him, and she doesn't know that she's being controlled, and she's putting this mask on of self-empowerment, which is fake. It doesn't make her a good person. Even crappy, shitty people can be in controlling relationships. But he has completely brainwashed her to believe that it's natural and normal for them to want this codependency and that it's cool for him to literally have his hands in everything she does and frame it like we're going to be together. But it was Ryan who told Justin that if they're not together, it will kill them. It will kill them. That sounds like Family Annihilator. If we're not together, it will kill us. Kill us. That's how I'll end this video. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.